Hi, I'm Jeff Creely. I am a psychologist and I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm a white, cisgendered, gay male, and I graduated from Lee University in 2010 with my bachelor's in psychology. And then I also graduated from Fuller Theological Seminary with my Ph.D. in psychology, all the way back in 2016. So I got a double dose of Christian higher education. One of the questions is, why did you go to a Christian college if you were queer? Um, well, that was pretty straightforward, because I'm also Christian. My religion is a really big part of who I am and how I see myself and how I see the world. And even in my undergrad and my graduate education, I wanted to go to a place where I felt understood and supported in my religious identity. At the time when I started undergrad, I actually didn't understand my sexuality. I knew that there was something different about the fact that I wasn't as attracted to women as I thought I was supposed to be, but I didn't know that I was gay. And it was actually at Lee that I fully started to understand myself and come to terms with what that meant, which was a very difficult process, as a lot of queer people know, in being in an environment that doesn't support the entirety of who you are. Well, it was very, very difficult. I struggled a lot with self-hate because although I hadn't grown up in a church that was discriminatory against LGBTQ people, Episcopalians are pretty tolerant. Lee itself was an evangelical Christian college campus, and so the fear that I felt, the dread that I felt, that who I was meant that I was unacceptable to the people that I really cared for and I loved and who I felt loved me, my friends, my professors, my mentors, that was an incredible burden to bear during the time that I was at Lee. And I think it really held me back for becoming closer to God and becoming closer to the person that I know God wants me to be. I knew from a very early age that something was different about me. Like, I knew that I didn't feel about girls the same way that other boys did, and that I felt about boys a way that other boys didn't seem to feel. Probably when I was in middle school, I had an awareness that there was a thing called gay, and I got called gay in school, and I knew that it was a bad thing. I knew that people seemed to really hate people who were gay, and so I was terrified to discover that what that meant, what that term meant, could be something that I was. And so I really tried to repress it. I tried to date girls. I tried to be straight. When I went to Lee, I went to therapy, actually at the College Counseling Center, explicitly to try to change my sexual orientation. At the time, I was quote-unquote same-sex attracted, not gay. But it didn't work, and after about a year in, I finally was able to say the words to my therapist, "I am gay." I think I whispered them, actually, because I was so terrified that someone outside the room could hear us. But it was also an incredible relief. We switched roles. He had never really wanted me to try to change my sexual orientation, but he was a kind and supportive person. And eventually I was able, with his help, to come out to other people. The first person I came out to was actually a friend of mine on a trip to Cambridge. I did the Cambridge Study Abroad program at Lee, and I confessed to her that I was very attracted to one of the singers in the Cambridge King's College Choir. And we chatted about it for a while, and it was an incredibly supportive and loving experience from her. And then when I went to Fuller Theological Seminary, which is also an evangelical campus, I promised myself that I would just be out with who I was from the moment that I stepped foot on campus. And I was. I was very open with my sexuality and became a very big part of what I did on campus as an advocate for LGBTQ people in Christian spaces. And also a big part of my clinical practice. A lot of the people that I see as clients now are people who struggle with integrating their sexuality and their spirituality in a way that feels congruent and good with them. And yeah, I've been out ever since on everything, and I never looked back. I appreciate being given the opportunity to tell my story, and I hope that in hearing this, you know that it is possible to feel a sense of wholeness with yourself, that you are lovely and wonderful as you are, as God made you, and that you can be in communion with God and with other Christians and with people who support you and love you just as you are. That is a reality, and it's wonderful. So I hope that if that's not where you find yourself, you find a way to walk towards that place.